basically that suits the lifestyle of the Orang Asli people themselves. And besides that, when we engage DIY enthusiasts, industrial designers, interior designers, design thinkers to get into the process as well.
All right, you did mention about the safety of building homes. So what build code or safety standard does this house meet?
To be honest with you, like when it comes to rural housing in Malaysia, there isn't a governing body that, just like our majlis in the city, governing what sort of codes it abides by, because these are informal or semi-permanent structures. But we're looking to also raise the bar as to the quality of these homes. So we follow the British Code of Practice in how we put up, we utilize the different materials like steel, fiber cement, timber, ensuring that it's treated. And all our designs are signed off by a certified engineer to ensure that it's structurally sound and that it can hold the weight of a family and more to ensure that they're safe.
And approximately how many builders are needed in this process?
Every single house, we would say an ideal number is about 30. Minimum about 25, maximum about 35. The reason why we say 30 is so that we're not just efficiently putting up the house, but it also gives ordinary people the time to rest, have a break, enjoy their ice cream, make some friends, enjoy the sights and sounds, and ensure that it's not just a laborious experience, but it's something that's fulfilling and fun as well.
So do they do like shifts?
Well, it's not so much shifts, but we split them up into different teams that are led by who we call more advanced volunteers called the specialist builder. They are then led by a master builder, where each team would have different focuses like the structure, the wall, the door, the floor, and the roof. And all of them will be working in tandem, focusing on their respective areas, and eventually on the third day you'll see everything come together as one home.
That's amazing. All right, so what about the materials used? What are some of the materials used in building these homes?
The materials that we normally use would be steel, and so they make up the beams and the columns. And then the subframes are either using GI material or aluminium framing or timber. Right? And then the floors are made out of timber planks, they're treated, and then the cladding is done with fiber cement. The roof as well depends on what kind of roof they would like or what's available. So usually we would use either fiber cement roofing or this material called polyaluminium, which is basically a recycled material from drink cartons. Cool. Yeah. And whatever it is, it definitely beats the zinc roof. In terms of durability and also comfort as well. Because a lot of people don't realize this. If you don't have proper insulation, it's hot. But at the same time, when it rains, and it does a lot in Malaysia, you basically live inside a drum. So you can't really hear anything when it rains heavily here.
Exactly. All right, so now APIC has been established for 8 years now. What are some of the milestones you've achieved so far that you are most proud of?
Yeah, so formally we've been around for about 8 years. Although I like to say that the story started about 10 years ago. Some of the milestones that we're most proud of, I think the first home is definitely a huge one. I think that really proved to us that we weren't crazy. I think the second home helped us reach the milestone of being able to do it with a full team of volunteers and with no professional labor. Although we didn't do it in 3 days, we did it in 5. But it wasn't so much the home itself, but it comes back to the whole idea as to why we were compelled to do this in the first place, where it was really about building relationships. And what happened after the whole build was we were sitting down together with the homeowner, and her name is Ibu Bia. And so she was and she said, you know, thank you very much for the home, and I'm really touched, and I'm very happy about it. But I've been wondering all this while, like, why in the world are you doing this for me? And so I said, you know, it's because we want to get to know each other like this, you know, and be able to be friends. And she looked at me and said, "You're not my friend." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, you're my children now, you know. And I remember, like, it was just such a shocking moment, and at the same time was a kind of a reaffirmation that we were heading down the right track, you know. And so that I think was quite a pivotal moment. I think besides that, back in 2015, after the 2014 December floods, we got involved with recovery efforts, and that was a pretty epic experience where we had to build 17 homes within a month. You know, so that it was quite an endeavor. We worked together with Prudence Foundation, brought in about 500 over volunteers to come in week after week. It required 45-minute four-wheel drive to get into the place itself. We would put everybody onto trucks to get into that place. We had to set up tents. We had to work with the villagers to cater and cook for 100 over people every single weekend. So pulling that off, I think that was definitely a huge milestone.
Yeah, 17 houses in a month is a lot.
Yeah, that was, I think, following the maximum of 5 homes in a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know how many homes you've built so far?
Personally?
Yeah.
Or as a movement?
Oh,
as a movement. A movement, we are at our 134th home, if not mistaken, just this weekend. Yeah.
And how many homes do you hope to build by the end of the year?
Right. So it's really, I mean, people will look at that number and say, wow, you know, that's over 100, you know, so it's quite substantial. Yeah. However, I think the message that I'm trying to get out there is that there's actually about 10,000 families that has been identified to need housing aid just within the Orang Asli community itself. You know, and there's just so much that still needs to be done. There's not enough help going into this area. And so the goal would be to be able to bring this number down to 0. I think it's possible. You know, the amount that it takes to do this is only $500 million. You know, and $500 million to ensure that an entire minority people group get access to safe housing. I think it's very doable.
Well, that's the spirit.
Yeah.
I hope you achieve that.
I believe we will.
All right.
Thank you.
Hopefully. And do you keep like a record of the journey, like a video, vlog, or?
Well, I think that it's not been that intentional. We wish that we had the resources to do it right from the start.
Yeah.
But we do have some record of it in writing, in our database, and also through volunteer-generated content. You know, when they're on site, some of them has really shot amazing videos. You know, so we do have quite a lot of it on YouTube. You know, if people go and search for Epic Homes or Epic Collective.
All right, amazing. So now, last but not least, Johnson, before we end our interview for today, for those out there watching right now who wants to volunteer for you guys, how can they go about it? Right,
so it's quite simple. They can go to our website, epic.my, epic.my, or they can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/epicarmy.
All right, simple and easy. Thank you so much, Johnson, for joining me on Talking Points. It's been an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're taking a short commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.